Stop it.
No, just keep
Hey.
Looper.
Okay, I can't. Y'all childish.
Come on. Okay. Go.
Hey guys. Alright. Start over. Hey y'all, it's me, Tori, with Tori's Testimonies. So, I decided to start at the very beginning. Why am I giving you my testimony? So, you know how when you're younger, your parents tell you stories about things that happened when you were little. Some you remember, some you don't. So I got one particular story for y'all that I want to tell about me falling out of a 2-story window. So apparently, as it was told to me, that my older boy cousins, which my mom's first cousin, my second cousins, had me standing in a window ledge. I'm looking out of a window, watching a group of kids play football. And we grew up in the projects. So like the way the apartments were built, it was like, you know, a huge perimeter and then a courtyard in the middle and then like little patches of grass everywhere. And so apparently, as it was told to me, I was watching the kids play football and I was apparently hitting on the windowsill, or the window screen, I should say. And my boy cousin, teenager, irresponsible, not paying attention, who's now an adult, was holding me by my ankles, or one ankle or something of that nature. And I was excited and I was hitting the screen and boop, I fell out. He went into the living room where my mom and granny and cousins were and calmly said, Tori fell out the window. So because he was a jokester, prankster kind of kid, they thought he was just BSing. But lo and behold, I had really fell out of the window. And so when he made it apparent that I had fell out the window, everybody panicked. They called 911. Paramedics came out. And by the time my mom and aunt got around, the corner of the building to go see about me, I'm sure my mom was thinking the worst. But I stood up and like basically was just kind of looking around. I was about 2 or 3, so just looking around like what just happened. And according to my mom, the paramedics got there and they went back to the area where I had fallen. And they said that they don't understand how I was able to just get up and I had some dirt on my bottom. That was it. And for me, that story, it just solidifies God's grace and mercy on me and how God has had me covered from the beginning. You know, we didn't have the best upbringing. We didn't have the best of the best. We grew up in the projects. My mom was a teen mom. It was 3 of us. It was me, the oldest, my sister, and my brother. You know, and she started with what she had. My mom was 14 and pregnant, and she had me at 15 years old. And before she was, I think, 21, she had 3 kids, if I'm not mistaken. I have to do the math. But my mom went extremely hard for us. You know, she didn't let us be a friend to her. She was very strict. And honestly, I didn't even realize that teen mom was a thing until I got in like middle school, I would say, because all my friends' parents were older. So I would be like, why your mama so old? And they was like, why your mama so young? And when my mom would come to the school for whatever reason, they would say, is that your mom? And I would say, yeah. They thought she was my big sister, but no, she was my mom. And she didn't have that teen mom stigma. She was strict. We had curfew, we had to clean, we were organized, we were structured, and honestly, she's the reason why I am who I am today, because she instilled so much in me to the point where I'm the same way with my children. But going back to the story, my mama always talk about how she can't even believe how there was not a scratch on me. You know, there wasn't a scratch on me. The paramedics assessed me and they said there was no reason for me to go to the hospital. And, you know, it was just like a miracle. You know, I know that's kind of cliche, but that's what they said. It was a miracle. And as that story was told to me year after year as I was growing up, I didn't understand it and its meaning until, you know, a few years ago. And going through cancer and things like that, it just kind of solidifies how God has always had me covered, you know. And so a part of my testimony and me telling you all and sharing with you all is being very transparent and starting from the very beginning as to where God started with me. You know, my mom overcoming being a teen mom and the success she has up until this day, and then me overcoming being a product of a teen mom, you know. And so at the end of the day, you know, God will allow us to go through things, but it's how you come out of it, right? So it's how you overcome. Yes, she was a teen mom, but that didn't stop her from being very positive, very loving, very compassionate. You know, like love, attention. And I didn't realize that we were less fortunate until I got older in age. And it was like, oh, you know, y'all don't do that, you know, or my mom started letting me go to friends, sleepovers and stuff like that. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that I was kind of less fortunate. But although that the material things made me see that I was less fortunate, I didn't feel less fortunate. Like, I didn't feel like I had less than my peers, because some of the things that I would hear from my friends, I would say like, my mama don't do that, or I don't go through that, or yeah, my dad's not around, but I'm not going through that. So I wouldn't even say that I wanted someone else's life or I missed out on anything. I'm very, very grateful for the life that I had as a child and the things that I was exposed to, because I feel like it helped me be a better person today, you know, be a better mom today. You know, as I mentioned in the video, I think the first or second video, I met my husband as a child in the projects, you know. So, and that's a whole nother video of how we met. I had a huge crush on him. He was older than me. And back then, when there's a 4-year difference, it's huge. Like, you can't be 12 and think you're going to date a guy that's 4 years older than you. That's a no-no. Or even 16 and like a guy that's older than you 4 years. It's just a no-no. But when we were adults, it was what it was. You know, we had both been through a lot. So our age didn't really matter. But so if I had to say, like, growing up poor, not having, just not being exposed to things that I thought I was missing out on, or it appeared that I was missing out on, now that I'm able to go down those avenues and experience those things, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what they were going through. I see what they had, you know. And I remember being, I think it was in middle school, checking off a box or making a list of things that you wanted to accomplish as an adult. And I still had that little index card. My mom had it actually, and I ran across it, and it was like 5 things on it, your top 5. And literally, I was able to check off 4 of them. And I thought that was huge. And so the only thing that I have not been able to check off is becoming a business owner. And that, I'm working on that. I'm working on that right now. Bringing out Tori's testimonies is not only to start a brand or build a brand, but it's to let women like myself and even men know that you're not a product of your environment. You're not your address. You're not your zip code. You don't necessarily have to be where you come from. You can, you know, withstand and endure, and then use that as an advantage when you become older or when you become more knowledgeable of why you went through that. Because remember, there's no such thing as coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. And as you guys will hear, as I tell story after story of the things that I've been through and the things that I've overcame, it all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. Me falling out that window as a child, as a toddler, and being here today to tell the story, it's a part of the plan. And, you know, who are we to go against the plan? You know, you just got to know when to understand when to move. You know, and say, okay, well, man, I went through that, and my mama told me this story, and my granny told me that story. What is it for? What is it for? And so now that I understand my purpose in life, now that I understand why I'm here, and I'm 36 years old, and I'm just now understanding my purpose, you know, and there's people older than me that still don't know why they're here, what they came to do, you know, what God put them on this earth for. It wasn't to work a 9 to 5. It wasn't to, you know, birth children and raise them and just say, I'm a good parent. You have a purpose in life. God has a plan for you. And it's your responsibility to seek that out. And so now that I sought out my purpose, that's why I'm coming to you, and that's why I'm bringing you these videos, you know? So that's where it started. It started from me falling out of a window. And the story being told to me in such a way, you know, not where it was like, oh my God, I almost died, but in such a way that, oh my God, I could have died, you know? And we joke about it. My older cousin, I always tell him, I was like, you pushed me. And he was like, nah, man, I don't even know how you fell. Like, I couldn't believe you had fell. Like, it was still a mystery because it was 2 of them. And one blamed the other one until this day. You know, I'm in my late 30s. Don't try to play me. And they're in their mid 40s. And so they still joke around and say, man, no, that was you. You supposed to be watching her. No, you were supposed to be watching her. But ultimately, that's just how it was supposed to happen. You know? So it's not even on them. That was part of God's plan. You know, me falling out of a 2-story window. And me being the wonderful person that I am today, not perfect. I got flaws, and I'm all jacked up in all kind of ways, and you will learn because I'm very transparent. However, I am an overcomer, and so are you. So if you take a second and just think back on, even if it's a story that your mom told you, your dad, your grandma, whoever told you of something that was scary, that was, oh my God, frightening, unbelievable, just know that there's a bigger purpose in that story. Use that. Dig deep and understand the purpose of that whole situation and why you went through it. Whether you witnessed something, you were involved in something, or, you know, whatever the case have you. But just take that and kind of dissect it and say, okay, this is where it all began. Because that's what I did. And so that's why I decided to bring you the falling out the window story, because I feel like that's where it began for me. You know, that's where it all started. So love yourself, love your family, give people their flowers while they're here. The world that we're living in today is not promised to us, and understand your purpose in life, okay? Don't give up on your dreams, and understand that everything is a part of the plan, okay? So I appreciate you guys for listening to me, you know, tell my story about falling out of the window. Share this video, you know, like this video, subscribe to my channel, because it gets better. It gets better and it gets better. And the stories get better. You know, I started here, and it's just gonna build up to my current day, you know. So like, subscribe, comment, and share. You guys have a great day. Bye.
And I welcome you. You're a glad